Thanks for visiting Patient and the Weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health risk for January 24th, 2026, and what's shaping up to be a rather wicked weekend. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com, and we maintain a storefront on Amazon, Patient Weather storefront, and if you make any of your Amazon purchases through our Patient Weather storefront, it supports the activity with Patient Weather. Looking at our surface map for the 24th, it really does look amazing, with high pressure dominating almost all of the country, except for that little bit of low down here in the southwest, bringing some moisture even to the southwest. However, it's an amazing, terrible winter weekend, cold temperatures and lots more cold to come, and a little bit of that stalled frontal system still stretching from Orlando all the way to El Paso, and keeping the unsettled weather here in the south, but still can't keep the cold temperatures away. Looking at our vitality index, it does look like a Christmas tree, and we have some kind of unsettled weather across the west, up and down the plains, through the Ohio Valley, and up and down the eastern seaboard. Looking at pressure change, which is specific for us and for many with migraine, headache, pain, arthritis, we have falling pressure, although it's still rather elevated, but it will be falling, and it's the change that matters, again, not the absolute level. Falling pressure here up and down the plains, really from Montana into Wyoming, the plains from Kansas to the Dakotas, and then to the east, Missouri and western Kentucky, in Illinois, Iowa, and Minnesota, but really here, the very, very heart of the falling pressure in the Dakotas. We have post-frontal rising pressure immediately behind that active front, all the way from the Carolinas up through eastern Pennsylvania, across Maryland, all of New York, and across New England, and well into eastern Canada. Looking at temperature change, and remember, brutal temperatures. Cold kills more than warmth. No matter what they tell you about global warming, fear global cooling. But in this case, it's just the immediate short-term effects of very sharp falling temperatures. The difficulty is they're not going away. But you'll note we have terribly temperatures falling across Texas, Oklahoma, and down into Louisiana, and really across even into the Carolinas, and then pushing on up and even making it into the New England area. Warming temperatures, and that is warming, and if you look at the relative warmth, you'll see we were talking about negative temperatures. Significant warming still puts it into the single digits to the low teens if we're lucky, but there is some warming temperatures across the Dakotas. Dew point temperatures, pretty reflective of what we've been saying. You still have all that cold moving in, and there's some upper level warmth and a low down here in the southwest to bring some moisture even there. Looking at the change in oxygen levels, which is what we look at for a lot of migraine and asthma, you'll see that we have a risk of migraine literally across the southern two-thirds of the country and up the eastern seaboard. But note we have a risk of migraine across Texas into Nevada, really across into the Four Corners, picking up very significantly across Texas, Oklahoma, into Louisiana and Arkansas and Mississippi, and then getting really active again on the migraine front from northern Florida, across Georgia, up the Carolinas, and along the eastern seaboard, all the way through Delaware, New Jersey, and much of New England, and picking up almost all of the southeastern and eastern Canada. The risk of asthma and arthritis, the northern plains, Montana, Wyoming, very sharp across the Dakotas, into Iowa and Illinois, and then back up into Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Thanks for visiting the Patient and the Weather today. Your comments are appreciated, and if you heard, tell us where you're located. But remember, this is one wicked weekend, and the cold is much more dangerous.